And we are back again with an episode of Are You Not Entertained? We got breaking news, then an update on Nintendo lawsuit patent updates. We have That Just Happened, Halo, and future games coming to PlayStation. Did you catch that? The Outer World 2's Backlash, another episode of Microsoft. Lawsuit against Spotify for fraud, and as always, we'll end it with our, as usual, tech talk. Apple getting help from Google's Gemini to improve Siri. We're going to start it off as always. Breaking the ice. I'm going to go ahead and take this. Japan, the motherland, Sony and Nintendo. Japan has rejected Nintendo's patent for Palworld.
Rejected.
I'm gonna call a flag when that play negative. Japan has rejected Nintendo's patent for reasons of lack of creativity. And that there's a precedent of too many games and/or IPs that have similar mechanics in them, dealing a crushing blow to the ongoing lawsuit they have against Palworld, who all they tried to do was just make a creature-esque game. And Nintendo felt it's a little too worried in the knees. You know, someone was going to out-Pokemon them, even though technically they don't own Pokemon. I gotta say, I was thrilled. When the time comes we do video on this podcast, we'll go back to this. My face was ecstatic. The biggest grin ever, because Nintendo eats shit and ain't shit. But you already guys know how I feel about that. Between Nintendo and that nostalgia dump they just keep throwing at people. What's that thing called? Zelda. But yes, but not only just that, because Japan rejected. The U.S. Patent Office director says that Nintendo should not have been granted the creature summoning patent in America. And in a rare
Oh my fucking God.
Rare event, they are going back and reassessing that patent. Patent lawyer chimed in saying Nintendo should not have been granted that patent. That is a blatant disregard to creativity. All they're trying to do is corner the market. It ain't looking good, baby, for the House of Mario. Fuck them. I'm sorry. Keep myself in line. But oh yes, it looks like that lawsuit, it'll be coming down like a house of cards. Trace, how do you feel about this Spartan army of lawyers that are constantly cease and desisting, suing people, just putting their money where their mouth is? That told no, and that their U.S. patent will get overturned, which I didn't know that could even happen.
Oh yeah, you can appeal decisions and stuff like that. That's why I kept saying that all the game companies need to band together and put in for the appeal, because that shit never made sense. Whoever Nintendo laced their pockets in the background, I hope you kept the receipt, Nintendo, because you should have never gotten that shit. That shit is dangerous to the gaming community. And then just think of if that patent does stand, think about all the companies that's then gonna patent shit that they make going forward. It's dangerous. It goes against the American logic that you can come here with nothing and turn it into something if it's good enough. And
if it's good enough.
Yeah, if it's good enough. And that hinders somebody coming up in the US and making a good game that shares certain things and elements from other games. It's very dangerous. Anyway, let's not even talk on that, because I'm not even gonna speak that in existence. Thank God that Japan said, hold up. I know you are a major guy in the city, in the streets. People know your name, but
we know you're a native. You're a local boy.
Yeah, but let's calm down, buddy. I know I did you favors in the past, but baby, this is one I just can't do. I can't do it. It makes no sense. Power World has given me all the evidence of all the past other people that has made games had more money than Power World, and you never batted an eye, because Power World is so small, so new, so itty bitty. You thought you could bully them? No, I'm the bully here. I'm saying we're not pushing this through. It's rejected. And fuck the US, because they should have been whoever the judge that signed off on that patent needs to be fired. And for the fact that it took for Japan to deny Nintendo, for them to go back and put on their tapping shoes and say this should have never passed and blah 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 blah. Fuck you. Don't say that after somebody stood on business and now everybody's looking at you crazy, because that's what's happening. People are seeing Japan say no to Nintendo, one of they homegrown, And then you up here now seeing like people are coming after you now because you're not keeping the word of the law relevant. You're literally going against everything that you're saying. Man, shout out to Japan, you know. Hopefully in 2026 I can make it out there. But I love to see Nintendo lawyers take a L because they up here been nickel and diming everybody that says anything wrong about Nintendo. They own homeland to be like, bruh, what are you doing? Calm down. Go sit down. Go make a good game while you doing all this suing. How about you make a new game, a new IP, or to do something? You up here sitting in this pocket for 30 years and you mad because somebody came and did it better than you? That sounds like jealousy to me. No, and I'm not going to reward you for that. So get the cracking. Go get some dev teams, go get some writers, go do something new. Because this right here, this is up for grabs for anybody. So anybody that comes sell a S-like game like this in Japan, I'm going to let them sell it. I love to see it. I love to see it. Major L for Nintendo sweatshop lawyers. Major L. Hold that L. Hold it for a long time, buddy. Because now that Palworld came and did it and they won too, just imagine all the Pokemon S-like summoning monster games we gonna get now. Just for the fact that they lost. You know, the industry
Oh
petty
yeah.
and they don't forget. They don't forget. They remember. They do petty shit like that. So I love to see it. I'm really happy this happened for Palworld. They got a win. You know, they still are in court about some other things, but this was a major win. And, you know, it does have to risk where Japan can come back because, like I said, anybody can appeal a judgment. But the fact that Japan already said what they said and released it to the press, pretty much a guarantee that if Nintendo appeals, they're going to lose again. So I'm happy for Power. I love to see it.
I'm happy. I'm ecstatic because not only did, like you said, Palworld got the win on this, but in the midst of the trial and Nintendo trying to stop them, go back and forth, Palworld put out a trailer for a new game with still Pokemon-esque mechanics and summoning capturing features. They said, hey, you ain't gonna stifle our creativity just because you want to be lazy. You want to sit on your laurels. And once again, I'm gonna say this, Nintendo does not own, they are just a very large, they might be the majority shareholder of them, but they don't own the Pokemon company. And it's the Pokemon company that is lazy, that is adhering to Nintendo's 3-year schedule and crapping out this slop. This is just another brick taken from the wall that's gonna crumble all this shit down. And I'm looking so forward to it. Because of this news, I went and looked at Palworld and I learned Palworld, it was a online only survivor-esque game, which it does have survivor elements, but it is not online only. You can play it either in co-op or single player by yourself. I'm gonna go buy the game. I'm gonna show support. I don't think it came to PlayStation yet, but I know it's on Steam in early access. It's verified for the Steam Deck. I'm getting in on it. Whatever middle finger to Nintendo you can help support, because I'm all about the little guy shitting on the big guy, and this was a big one. And this comes right on the news of, hey, Nintendo feel they hot shit. They got 2 million Switch 2s in the wild. People, consumers, I expected better from you all. You gotta tell your cousins, your little brothers who don't know no better, hey, chill out. Play with the Switch 1. Does the same thing. Oh, well, I want to play Mario Kart. Hey, play the old one. Stop giving them this money. Stop giving them this ammo. Especially with that new Pokemon game, the ZA shit. But major win. That's what I'm talking about. I do believe we are waiting for a rebuttal or appeal, etc., whatever Nintendo has to do on their part, but the ink, writing is on the wall. This lawsuit, this frivolous little game they're playing, it ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
Because once the US overturns their patent, Nintendo has no leg to stand on. And when the bells toll, it is open season on every indie developer, any guy who has a little bit of programming in him to make a Pokemon-esque game. And Nintendo can't do shit about it. Because Palworld did their homework. They said, hey, there was Dragon Quest / Warriors that had these monster capturing features in them. There were Persona, had summoning creatures, mechanics that fight for you in them. Nintendo is not the first, not the originator of these mechanics that they trying to put in the market and nickel and dime people. And I love to see it. I love to see it in a time where AAA really, truly ain't shit. You have the AA and the indies that are really rocking this, that are really pushing, saying, hey, we ain't just making a good game just to make money. We're trying to tell a good story and sell a good product. The money is just a byproduct of it. From your Claire Obscures to your Hades 2, now Palworld.
What is the sales right now for the Switch?
They are at 10.2 or 10.6 million
God
since it
damn.
came out in June. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Consumers, hey, fuck are you guys doing?
Calm
You
down.
tell your cousins, your aunties, whoever, hey, chill out because you're
Oh my
helping me.
god. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Let's chill out, people. Say hit the comments below. Let us know how you feel about Nintendo getting rejected in their homeland for their patent, and now the U.S. is trying to put their tapping shoes on the patent they approved here in the U.S. And what could this possibly mean for Nintendo going forward? Now that they're gonna have real competition, like for their Pokemon games. Not saying they haven't had it in the past per se. I wonder now, is this gonna emphasize some type of kick in the ass for the people at Nintendo to be like, let's make a good game. Let's
So I'm
try.
gonna say
Let's
this.
try.
I'm gonna say this. You probably don't remember it because a lot of people didn't believe it, and it came and went like a fart in the wind. Pokemon Company is making a non-Nintendo game. Don't remember the name of it. They showed a brief trailer, and it is amazing. It is. It's something on the scale of when you first saw the Witcher 3 trailer. That's just how nice it is. And when people saw it, the first thing that came out their mouth was, you motherfuckers can make a good game. So why aren't the Pokemon games like this? But
Damn.
as I said,
Damn.
Nintendo pushes them every 3 years. A Pokemon game has to come out. So clearly, whatever this new thing that they're working on is something been more than 3 years. I believe the game is supposed to come out on PlayStation. I can't remember the name. We'll come back to it later. But the Pokemon Company can do some shit. And as far as answering your question, what this does is now it's gonna shine a light on Nintendo, the Nintendo bootlickers. And I'm gonna bring this up too. There was a guy, was a Japanese guy, some prominent developer. I ain't gonna say famous because I didn't know who the hell he was. But he came out in an interview saying that people that made Palworld crossed a line that should not have been crossed, and how dare they try to embarrass Nintendo with their game, and no one should buy Palworld and let it fail. And I was like, bro,
If you
does
don't have several
Nintendo
seats and shut the fuck up.
did Nintendo buy you a new collar for you to say that? Did they put some extra toys in your cereal? Because I have never seen some corporate bootlicking like that before in my life. They crossed a line because they dared to do something better that Nintendo fans have been asking for so long. Nintendo said, no, you'll get what I give you and be happy. Not anymore, baby. Not anymore, baby. Someone has came out and took it upon themselves and made something better. And it's only, and Palworld said this, it's only due to the mass success of Palworld that they had the funds and money to fight Nintendo in court. Because normally, Nintendo does this shit to anybody, they just back up. All right, man, whatever, baby. Because they don't have the funds. They don't have the lawyers to go toe-to-toe Nintendo. But this time, oh, no, Nintendo. Bet off more than you could chew. That was like, hey, man, we got money. We got money to keep supporting the game and to fight you and to announce a new game. And then not even that. Palworld is in early access. Early access. So it's not even a full price game. And they had money to tap on that ass. I look forward to seeing how this lawsuit goes.
Yeah, and
But as my co-host said, go ahead.
no, it's just that the fact that I've said in previous videos that you need competition in the market for these game companies to push the boundaries. And Nintendo hasn't had any real competition. Why? Because, I mean, they're selling old IPs that's been around for 40 years. And then, two, they have such a large fan base. So they became very lazy with Pokemon. They didn't even push the boundaries. They was just like, hey, they fucking basically Madden the Pokemon game. You cannot put out a good product like that with these Maddens and with these Pokemon games. You just can't. They need more time to develop. And now I just think hopefully this put a fire under their ass. Maybe this is the fire that turns the company into a real game making company, not reselling old nostalgia. Fuck Nintendo.
Only time will tell. But
Yeah.
as my co-host said, let us know in the comments, how do you feel about this information, this shakeup of this lawsuit? Give it to Japan for saying,
Hey,
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 chill
we
out, bruh.
standing on business.
You
'Cause
know you know
that
this
could
shit
hurt our
ain't right.
pockets in some way. Nah, we're not doing that because that could hurt our pockets. Nah, if people wanna come make a S-like game like yours, we gonna let them sell it. Cause why? It's gonna make us money. You. Fuck you. Japan has told Nintendo, "Fuck you."
Fuck you. Fuck them too. Moving on. Ooh, we got that just happened, baby. Woo! It is heating
Ooh.
up this holiday
Hey,
season.
listen, Xbox is always in our news feeds, and but this was major. Like when I saw
This
this,
is
I
spicy.
kind of I kind of thought like this is fake, this ain't real, and then I started seeing the backlash. I said, "Oh shit, this is not a game. This is not a test. This is the real deal, people."
You want to know how I knew this shit was real? When I
How?
got on Twitter and I saw the memes, and I seen the Xbox fans really going in. We talking about mama jokes about this shit. But I'm just gonna say it right here, right now, baby. Halo is coming to PlayStation. Campaign evolved, not combat. They switched it up on y'all. Coming in 2026. Coming to PlayStation. Not just that, not just the Halo remake. He said slowly, every Halo going forward will be on the PlayStation. Microsoft has gone full on third party publisher. And the Xbox fanboys, they're having meltdowns. They're having psychotic breaks. Some of them don't believe it, even though I don't know why, but it's there. Black and white, baby. Ain't nothing more truer than when something's in black and white. They can't believe it. They're lashing out. They're in denial, saying that, oh, PlayStation's in such disarray. They need our games to sell. Yeah, okay, buddy. If that's what you tell yourself to go to sleep at night, okay. But that's not what that is. But the Halo campaign evolved is a from the ground remake of the original Halo Combat, made in Unreal Engine 5. We'll get to that later. And they have spiced it up with sexier graphics, modern control scheme. You can sprint because people are upset about that too. They are really upset about that. And you can ADS for you youngins in the back. That stands for aim down sights. Every modern FPS, that also stands for first person shooter. When you pull the left trigger, it aims down the sights, whether it be into iron sight, scope, etc. Back in the early 2000s, every FPS did not have that, and Halo didn't. I don't think Halo didn't get that until
Yeah, it didn't.
Infinite, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Other than that, it was just a straight shooter. But people are livid about that sprint thing. But I am thrilled. I am happy because it looked good. I don't think I only think I played that original game once. And I was back around when it first came out. I've never reran through it and its new coat of paint. I look forward to it. Now there is a caveat. There will be no multiplayer for this.
That I
I'm a little
don't get.
confused.
I don't get that.
Yeah, I don't get that either. So they remastered Gears of War again, and that had its multiplayer. But
Mhm.
you remake Halo, and that has now there was speculation going on that possibly they're just going to remake the first one and then just dump the Master Chief collection, and that has the
Ugh.
multiplayer suite of all the games. Let's put our thingy caps on here, consumers. Why would they spend all the money remaking one game and then just give you the collection of all games when they did not have to do that? Because the Master Chief collection holds the collection of Master Chief games. Halo 1 will be included. But there has been another theory going on, and this came from one of the developers who wanted to remain anonymous,
Of course.
that the reason it comes with no multiplayer and it's just the campaigns is because the multiplayer offering of Halo will come from Halo 7 when that comes about. So
Oh
and then it
god.
also makes sense business wise, rather than having so many players across so many different games and you maintaining servers for all of those, you give the campaigns and you just maintain server for for just that makes sense business wise. Even though their parent company is a $4 trillion company, I think Microsoft can't afford the minuscule cost, pennies on a dollar, of some servers. But hey, what do I know? I don't make video games. Consumer like the rest of you all. But that's what the speculation is. The reason why no multiplayer was there. But like I said again, the multiplayer was there for Gears of War. So you're maintaining servers for Gears of War, but not Halo? Was it dedicated servers, peer to peer? I'm not sure. But I do have one sidebar. For anyone who does not know, Grand Theft Auto was recently delayed into November of 2026. Next year will be the 25th anniversary of the Halo franchise. And that
Mm.
originally came out in on God's green earth. There is no way in hell Microsoft releases this game within the same of GTA. This will have
No.
to either get pushed back or pushed up, because baby, GTA has power of Godzilla. Anything in this way will get slapped, stomped on, crushed, and forgotten. Getting back to the news, the campaign Evolve has modern controls, quality of life. One of them, instead of being 2-player co-op like the original game, it will be 4-player co-op. Weapons from across the entire series will be available in the game, even though the original had more toned down and there wasn't. The Warthog has been redesigned for 4 players and not just 3. People are a little bit upset about that, but we won't talk about them. We know Xbox fans are delusional. They have made a lot of quality of life changements, and they also said they added 3 new prequel missions to it between the game that will
Mm-hmm.
involve Sergeant Johnson, which that's my boy. Love
Mm-hmm.
Sergeant Johnson. But not only that, to spice it up, because there's no multiplayer for the game, they are adding, and I quote, dozens more skulls to be found and activated in the game. And according to the devs, Halo 2 Lasso, for you young kids, that stands for Legendary All Skulls On. This game with All Skulls On will be the greatest Halo challenge to date. Currently, Halo 2 All Skulls On, Legendary All Skulls On is a behemoth of a challenge. I do believe they had a competition some years ago that if you could beat it and have the video that you played and beat it, I think without dying, I think someone won 50 grand. My co-host, my Ace Boon Coon, how do you feel about this fucking news? Because it is astronomical.
You know, like I said, I don't know if there's been a week where we haven't had Xbox as a topic. And I just want to say, please go back and watch some of our old Xbox topic videos, because this just reaffirms what I said in some of those videos, is that Xbox is no longer a game developer. They are a publisher. They've given up the most iconic, most influential IP that has been exclusive since the dawn of gaming time almost. And they just said, you know what? We make money on Xbox and PC. Might as well make money on Sony. Look, ain't nobody safe. There is no such thing as exclusive for Xbox going forward. And this is just in line where they're not interested in exclusives. They're not. They're no longer. They say, hey, why would we limit our money making ability with our IPs, that our biggest IP? That when you thought of Halo, you thought of Xbox. You thought of Xbox, you thought of Halo. So for them to make this type of move, I just think it just goes in line with the plan. You said they're backing out of hardware, even though they say they not. They really are. I feel like the next Xbox come out, that'll probably be the last one you see, honestly. And I just think it's a smart move, honestly. If your agenda is to make the most amount of money for the IPs you have, multi-platform games make the most amount of money. It's kind of hard to fathom, because 10 years ago, 15 years ago, when I was playing 360, did I ever think, or would have thought Halo would have went to PlayStation? That would have been a ride in the streets.
Hell no.
But just look how far. I mean, and maybe this is a good thing for the series too, because maybe we can get some people to make a good Halo game, going forward. Maybe this can improve the capabilities and the things that they do, and make something that won't piss the fan base off that are Halo fans. You know, I'm really optimistic about the future, but am I surprised? No. Not in 2025, no. I've already made a prediction that the Xbox is not gonna have exclusives going forward. So you just need to get that out of your head. I know the fanboys of Halo are going nuts on Twitter and and they're very upset by this and the delusional statement that PlayStation need our games to sell, which is kind of, you know, I did run across some news that I didn't realize that PlayStation has canceled more games in the last 5, 6 years than Xbox. Not saying Xbox had a lot in development, but it was still shocking to me that PlayStation has had so many games canceled while in development. Now that might be going in hand with what we said when they was trying to produce all them live action, live service games and stuff like that. So
Yes.
I think this is kind of where both sides kind of got their back itch, scratch, whatever. They both had a need. And this kind of fills the need for both companies. And I know people look at these companies as rivals and they hate each other, but at the end of the day, baby, both companies just want to make money. And I think this helped both companies make that money. So, you know, it's unfortunate for the Halo diehard fans who the whole reason why they have an Xbox is because of Halo. Baby, just go ahead and go get that PlayStation next gen because there's literally no reason why you have to have an Xbox. Now, you know, they say Xbox put out better quality of picture and all that. I'm not here to debate that, but I'm just saying this is the move. This is the direction that Xbox is going, and you have to be okay with it because the writing has been on the wall for some years, and every move they make going forward is going to reaffirm the direction more and more. Like Halo, Gears, what's another big Xbox the
Forza.
Sea of Thieves, Forza. Like you just gotta understand that Sony people are gonna have their hands on it, and you just gotta be okay with it. It's okay. Listen, welcome to the group. Make sure you sign the login, so we can help you through this difficult time.
It's also reported that Fable will be on PlayStation day and
Yeah,
date.
yeah, yeah. I saw that too. Yeah, but you know, Halo is a big property. It's a flagship. It has been exclusive on Xbox since 2001. So they've had an
It is
exclusivity.
what started Xbox. It
Yeah,
was their flagship
yeah. It
franchise.
propelled them. Yeah, so they've been exclusive for 25 years, and now that has ended. This is the way forward for the company and for the IP. So yeah, it's okay. We're here for you.
I just want to add on because you will mention that Sony has canceled a lot of games, and yes, we've touched on that. They are course correcting from
Mm-hmm.
their over ambitious live service slop that they were trying to go to. Yes, but I've said this before. I don't understand this allegiance to these $1 billion or $1 trillion corporations that do not know you. They don't care about you. They have no concern of you. Microsoft is pivoting. Microsoft wants money. We have
Yes.
spoke about these topics numerous times
The
on this
Game
show.
Pass
That
debacle,
ABK
yeah.
deal, Game Pass, all of that. The bill has come due. It's not Xbox gaming, it's Microsoft gaming. That's
Yeah.
what it's going to be going forward. And they want, according to Sarah Bond, that broad. Exclusives are antiquated and a thing of the past. Baby, you need to tell that to Nintendo because they are eating good, okay? Their whole house is built on exclusives. And trust and believe, Mario will never set foot outside of Nintendo,
Could
no
you
matter
imagine
how
could you
hard times get for them.
could you imagine playing Zelda on PlayStation? Like, oh my god.
Even PlayStation is getting back in bed in good terms with them. PlayStation is running the production for the Legend of Zelda movie.
Mm.
So, and if you want to mince words, yeah, PlayStation puts out their first party games on PC 2 to 3 years later, but trust and believe, they're not on Xbox. So, don't let Xbox narrative fool you. They're like politicians but in gaming. What you see the left hand doing, it's a distraction. Just trust and believe that right hand's about to fuck you over. Trust and believe. This podcast may have not been going when they said, oh, we're just gonna put out 4 games on PlayStation to see how it is. They knew right then and there where this was going. But see, if they tell you all the truth and tell you everything up front, the riot in LA during the 90s, and they can't have that. They have to slowly spoon feed it to you. But I knew when Forza came, I was like, hey man, Halo gonna come. It'll take a minute, or they'll try to figure something out, and this is how they figured it out. They're gonna redo it and start PlayStation from the beginning. This is how they're going about it. Plain and simple. Xbox is a publisher, and they're the largest publisher now. Not just on PlayStation, but just period. All the studios they own and everything, why put it on one platform? That's also Satya Nadella thinking as well, the CEO of Microsoft. He doesn't believe exclusives. He's about money. Plain cash money. He also just got a raise this year, a 28% raise, but we're not here to talk about that.
Hey,
His raise
listen.
went from $72 million to $96.8 million. That's what he made this year.
What is the resume needed to be in some of these positions? Because I swear I can run EA right now.
Yeah,
Like,
hey, talking about EA, I want to show up to Ubisoft. Hey guys, I don't need a lot. You give me 10 mil, and that's for the year. You give me 10 mil for the year, I can turn this whole ship around. I can fix you guys. I promise you. Without Tencent's help. You know, because I would love to know, like, what is the criteria you need to be to run these places? Because you guys are doing terrible job, and no one's replacing you all. We can do this. I can do it from home. You ain't gotta fly me to that's Ubisoft. Ubisoft is French. You ain't gotta fly me to France. We can do this on Zoom, baby. I'm giving you the discount rate.
yeah, listen, it's just a little crazy outside. But let us know, how do you feel, especially to the fanboys of Halo, about this move? Are you heartbroken, or do you think this is good for Halo? Do you think this could actually benefit Halo, the franchise, going forward? I'm really curious about that, because I mean that's a possibility. The more money that Halo brings in, hopefully that Sony would be like, hey, you need to make a good product if it's gonna be on our platform. So maybe Sony can influence the Halo makers to make a better game going forward. And hopefully this means Halo can recapture some of the good graces and all the stuff from the past that made Halo fun. I just want to make sure that everybody understands that what I said in the past, Microsoft went to Xbox. They said, hey, your job is on the line if we don't get back in the black in a certain amount of time. Everything they've done so far is really in line to get back in the black. That's all I'm gonna say.
Are you buying this when this comes out?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. No. No. I have issues buying, recent Halo games just because younger, it's like going to the casino for the first time and you win money. You don't want to go back. You don't want to ruin that memory with this new bullshit. Like that's kind of how I feel about Halo games. So no, I won't be playing. Will you? Will you play?
So I have for the longest wanted to go to the Master Chief Collection and just for nostalgia's sake just replay all these, but majority of the time something comes up, I get on there, I get discouraged, I look at the graphics, I'm like, yo, my eyes hurt. This is like eye cancer. And I've even thought about, doing a let's play of it, something. It just never happens. But now I'm like, just the campaign, 4-player co-op, skulls and etc. Now, I'll answer truthfully. I am interested in it. If it is the continued dog shit that Microsoft does with not doing a physical game, you make the disc, but you gotta still download it. I won't support that. We won't do that.
I'm just
Because
like
I know our buddy of ours, this is a great weekend, hey, let's just get on and bullshit, like back in 2000 type of thing, before responsibilities and growing up took its place. But I was just curious.
Yeah, it's kind of like you went to high school and you was that one fine chick that everybody loved, and then you went back to the reunion and she's like, ugh. See, I don't want
Like,
that
damn, girl,
experience. I
you
don't
work
want
where
that.
now? With how many kids?
Look, I don't want that experience. But we've been on this topic for a while, so let's move forward.
Let's move it on. And up next, did you catch that? And A lot of you all probably didn't catch that because the Halo, and there's other news that's eclipsing this, but hey, we
Yeah.
here for the bullshit. And I'm gonna let you all know. Outer Worlds 2, to me, is a nice, decent game. And that's probably me being biased because unlike the first one, you can play in third person. And I love my third person game. That's just my opinion. But the backlash going on this game was number one. This was the game
$80. Oh.
Microsoft wanted to charge you $80. And that's just how crazy this is. My co-host knew that that's what I was going to start off with because she doesn't have my notes. She ain't got my notes, so she already knew
Look,
that
look, I
this
saw that
this was the
$80.
number one thing.
I said, nah.
This was the game that Microsoft wanted you to spend $80 on.
Outta
And
here.
it didn't happen then. It ain't happening now. They walked it back and they made it 70, but that was one issue. Because of that, people were deterred and didn't want to grab the game. Pre-orders were low. So Microsoft walked it back and said, hey, we're sorry. We won't do that again.
We were bad.
I promise. We'll get better. That's issue one. Issue two, and this was a fear FTC had. I don't know if this is true legit or if it's just, bad optimization. But the reports are coming in saying that the game runs worse on PlayStation than it does on Xbox. And
Oh,
this is what the
yeah, yeah, yeah.
FTC was fearing that Microsoft would do, gobbling up all these companies, is that they would make the games better for their platform and
Mhm.
lesser on others to drive people to their ecosystem. But they're trying. They say on PS it runs real bad on PS5 Pro. Like, it is
That that
optimized
is
more,
that is so
more
crazy.
Xbox.
How is the
Mhm.
Pro the machine that
Running it
is
worse than the base.
yeah, like,
Yes.
that's why
Yeah.
people hey, yeah, listen, sign the sign-in log if you've spent that $800 on that PS5 Pro, welcome to the program, we're here to support you and get you through this troubled time, 'cause
Hope
what the
that 750
fuck?
was worth it. The next issue, this is from the critics. This is just me
Hmm,
reporting.
hmm.
This from the critics that people feel that Outer Worlds 2 is a disappointment as far as creativity,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
innovation, and as far as the whole corporate thing, takeover, etc. It's like, but you guys are owned by Microsoft. Are you serious? Now, I'll go into
Yeah.
further breakdown. The reason people felt this way is the Outer Worlds 1 was accepted by people because Obsidian, independent developer, they worked on a shoestring budget. So it was a nice, small, competent title. And it was like, okay, this was nice. They're making it do, like a single mother making ends meet with two jobs. They're making it work. But once Obsidian was purchased by with their big dick money, and I believe they even said it too that Microsoft's with their endless resources, that's corporate slang for money. I don't know why they use that word, but when you hear a company talking about, oh yeah, our company does use X amount of resources, they're saying money. I just don't know why they won't say that. But they said Microsoft's endless money and endless resources allow us to make the games we want. So Outer Worlds 2, people just expected more.
Mhm.
You were able to pump out Grounded, Avowed, Grounded 2, and now this. Where did that endless resources go? Because to a lot of people, they felt it's too safe. It's too on the nose. It's giving struggling studio vibes, and you all ain't struggling.
Far
You
from
all
it,
are not
actually.
Larian Studios. You're not Team Cherry. You're none of the small guys. You are owned by Microsoft, the king of Windows and Office 360, Microsoft Teams and Copilot. And I'm going to say it one more time, $4 trillion. So to critics and to some fans, they feel this should have been more, but yet they played it safe. And I can see how they would get that, but I feel this game did do more than the previous game, but maybe it just wasn't what people expected. I keep talking about the consumers and expectations, especially when these games take so long to make.
Mhm. Mhm.
And when you have smaller teams, again, the team that made Claire Obscure, they made that game on a shoestring budget. It came out earlier in the year and people are still talking about it. They didn't have a major giant corporation funding them. So when you have companies like Obsidian and they put out slop, they put out bad optimization, writing is questionable, etc. It brings attention to you because it's like, how were you not able to get this done, Phil? You have the money. You had the time. Where's the prestige?
I think that's too that feeds into consumers' expectation when you do get some money behind you. They have a certain thought process. Okay, that means all the issues before not gonna be issues going forward, and we should still get a more leaps between the sequel and the original. Like there should be more innovation. There should be more like aspects of the game that's far more approved now because you got money. And sometimes, I feel like we blame these studios that are under Microsoft because of X, Y, and Z. I think we gotta question when these studios release these products and they're not better. Did they really get access to unlimited funds? I'm beginning to question that because too many times has Microsoft bought a studio and then the game they put out after being purchased is slop. I'm starting to question if they actually do get access to funds and good writers, good producers. Like, is Microsoft really putting money behind the next product that the studios release? Because this has happened too many times. This has happened too many times with studios in Microsoft that they purchase. And fool me once, you fool me can't get fooled again. And this is like the sixth time that Microsoft has done this with the studio. And I'm just starting to question if they actually are giving these studios what they need to make the leaps and bounds that consumers are expecting because they're not meeting expectations, and it's damaging the brand. All this negativities of this game has damaged Outer Worlds' outlook with the consumer. The consumer feel cheated, the whole priceless thing, and then they walked it back. It's just real scummy. And so now I have to wonder, and that's the price you pay when you sell your company to someone like Microsoft. We discussed this in the past. Hey, if you can pay your bills and pay your people, just keep your control. Don't get bought. Don't take the check from Microsoft because it's just not working out for anybody that's been. But there's the who's another one that dang, what's that one game that we like? I can't even remember now. But it's happened more than once, more than twice. Like now I'm starting to be like, we gotta temper our expectations for some of these studios now. Because they're not making leaps. And you would think 5 years you doing something immaculate, but I guess I just don't know why it's taking 5 years to put out some of these games. I just don't see the value.
I 100% agree. And to answer your question, they are not getting the resources and just
But
everything
see,
that you were saying.
why purchase them if you're not gonna give them what they need to excel? Like you're that like
So go ahead.
no, it's just like why buy a product that you're gonna kill? Literally, you're gonna unalive a product because you won't support them. That's like having a child and not wanting to raise your child, and then be surprised when your child is in a bunch of bad crap. Why? You didn't raise them. You didn't put any effort, no emotion, no love. Like, goddamn, what you expect for the child to turn into? The president? No. Well, our president's crazy. But you know what I'm saying? Like you can't expect these studios to do well after you purchase them and you don't give them no love. It don't make no sense.
It doesn't. So it has come out that when Microsoft purchased these teams, they are hands off. They allow them to operate in complete autonomy, which I have never fully believed that. I think that is complete horseshit because like how are you doing that? There's a point in you buying them and you're just gonna let them just do whatever they want. That's one issue. Not to go off topic, but there was recently news from Undead Labs, who was another studio Microsoft has purchased, and according to them, there is a very convoluted, complex process for how Microsoft does feedback and dishing out of resources, management, and whatever the fuck else they do over there.
Oh Lord.
And I said this before, they couldn't handle and mismanage their own studios from the beginning. You bought all these new companies. How are you going to manage those when you were doing a piss poor job managing the first one? Not to mention, two, layoffs. Microsoft has laid off. I believe the tally is up to 15,000 from starting last year, if I remember correctly. It has been reported, they said many times, there is a very, very bad culture of mismanagement from Microsoft with these studios. There's a very bad lack of conversation of, hey, we need this. Can we help here? I give Obsidian a little bit of, I'm going to say leeway, but some grace because they seem to be one of the few studios that is pumping out content or something from their purchase, because majority of everyone that Microsoft has purchased, you have not seen the fruits of that labor. They purchased Undead Labs in 2018. In 2020, they put out a trailer for State of Decay. It's 2 years after the game came out. It has now been 5 years since that trailer, and there's been no game. It is reported that State of Decay 3 will come out in 2027. So why show the trailer and then the release is 7 years apart, but you're owned by a company with endless resources. So what are you all doing?
I don't know, but it ain't
Even
working.
even Starfield, and I'm gonna make sure I get this out, just like my Breath of the Wild. I'm gonna get this out right now. Starfield was being worked on before Microsoft bought them. You Xbox fucks. I'm gonna get this out here because you all paint the wrong narrative. Microsoft bought Bethesda to keep Starfield off of PlayStation, even though it's now coming but Microsoft had nothing to do with Starfield. They did not cultivate, they did not help them, they did not nurture it. That was something Bethesda was doing on their own. And Microsoft swooped in and was like, hey, you want some money? We got money. We don't make great games. We just buy the companies that make great games. And that's what happened. They bought them and then they said, hey, you know what? Starfield is only on Xbox. And at first, Bethesda rolled with it because it's like, all right, well, you the man. And then they bought Activision, was like, hey, all y'all stuff, it goes everywhere. Because there was an issue with that as well. There was talks of, and Pete Hines, the former marketing person for Bethesda, he has recently quit after all this shit with Microsoft. Bethesda felt, how is it that Activision shit goes to PlayStation and everywhere else, but our games got to come just to you? Microsoft is mismanaging these studios very poorly. There are lots of reports and anonymous developers coming in, ex-employees, etc., really breaking down every now and then a little glimpse behind the curtain that they have all that money, but it ain't being handled to them. There was an old developer that came out saying the reason Xbox has been around so long is that Microsoft just didn't give two shits about what Xbox did, because as I reported before, they only generate 6 to 8% of Microsoft's overall revenue, and they didn't make a significant splash. They just was those nerds in the corner over there. That's pretty much how it was. When they went on their acquisition spree and they started spending money, and then they started spending too much money, and Big Daddy Microsoft looked at the books like, hey, I'm some billions shorter. Oh yeah, Xbox bought some shit. Xbox? We don't make a lot of money. Why are they spending money? Hey, what y'all doing over there? Now Microsoft cares. Now Microsoft has a say and a footing in what is going on because you put too much attention on you all selves. Obsidian used to be looked at as the darling RPG maker because they are, majority of them, if I remember correctly, are made up of staff from Black Isle Studios, and that is the company that originally made the Fallout games before it was sold to Bethesda. That's a little weird that Microsoft owns both of them now, but and they have made a name for themselves as being RPG makers. You want to keep it a buck, keep it short. Microsoft is turning into the new EA, but instead of them closing motherfuckers and shutting them down and throwing them away, just buying up shit, gobbling up, and then like, hey, we need you to make this shit for Game Pass. And this is my last point I'll make. That's another thing someone theorized on why The Outer Worlds 2 and why Obsidian has been able to pump out so many games so much quicker than everybody else is because due to the nature of why they were purchased, they are to fuel and feed the Game Pass beast. The only way you could keep someone subscribed to Game Pass besides them forgetting they have it, you need a steady stream of newer content put into it that they can't quote unquote get anywhere else. Now, you're saying, oh, well, Infamous, they can get it somewhere else. Yes, that's true. But when we got to this topic, what did I say? On PlayStation, it runs terrible. Those reports aren't coming in that it runs bad on Xbox. I've played 15 hours of it, and I've had no issue with how it runs at all, especially with that fucking quick resume feature. Boy, that might be the best thing Xbox fucking did this generation, but you don't hear that the Xbox version. So even though they are putting it everywhere else, the FTC brought that up, that even though Microsoft is signing contracts and making deals for these games to go everywhere, they have no moral obligation to make every other version as good as the Xbox version. You buy it on PlayStation and it's shitty. Oh, well, let me go ahead and get it on Game Pass. Oh, it's just $20 a month. And before you know it, $360 a year. Or $240 if you're still at the $20 tier. Opinions, Trees? I know I
Yeah,
went on a little rant. There's a
yeah,
lot of shit
no.
going on.
I think I said all of what I had to say. It's just another game that's being associated with the fuck up of Microsoft. I feel like this Outer Worlds 2 share a lot of similarities with, and I know this is a Sony game, but Ghost of Yotei. It's not meeting the expectation from you being in development of for 5 years. You had a first good product or a good game, and then we thought you would get better. We thought you would grow. We thought you would have some type of leap. Fans quote that it's really no difference. There's not enough growth. There's not enough differences from the first game. So this game really does like kind of come to Ghost of Yotei to Ghost of Tsushima. And that just proves that even Sony is acceptable to fuck ups too. They own, well, the Sucker Punch, but like they're in cahoots with Sucker Punch. But it's just funny how health of gaming is just in a very, very gray area. And I don't know how long we're gonna be in this gray area, but yeah, it's just unfortunate where gaming is right now, and the amount of time they take to make these games and for it still not to be good or even meet half the expectations. It's just really unfortunate for the person that spends the money on it. But hopefully, Outer Wars 2 can pull something out of their hat to, regain trust. The whole $80 scandal thing. Listen, hopefully they can regain some brand recognition that's positive instead of all this negative stuff. But let us know in the comments. Are you enjoying playing Outer Wars 2? Do you think it's a good game? Or do you think this is just a situation where the expectations were just set too high for a sequel? Let us know in the comments below.
Moving on up.
This was a shocking news pop-up.
Yeah. Hey, she ain't lying. Because when I saw this, I was like, okay, this is legit. But a lawsuit has come out against Spotify. And according to the news, I did my research. This is not the first one.
Yeah,
Apparently this
yeah.
happens a lot. But there's a new lawsuit being filed by RBX. It is a cousin of Snoop Dogg's. And he claims billions of rapper Drake. His streams are fake and fraudulent. There are claims that Spotify turns a blind eye to bots that inflate certain artists' streams and steals royalties from artists. That's
Yeah.
pretty fucking heavy.
Yeah, but let's of course saying some these type of allegations to the number one rapper, the number one I think streamer on Spotify is guaranteed to push the topic. So let's not act like if they do this for Drake, they don't do this for every other artist. Okay, this is probably being done every major Beyonce, Outkast, the little Ed Sheeran. It's just not Drake. He just said that to get the narrative moving. I was very surprised when I did do my research on this, and it said it's already multiple class action suits against Spotify. So if one person said, two persons says, you start looking around, and more than three people, you like, all right, now what the hell going on? Like that's how I'm looking at all these different lawsuits right now, and the whole royalty thing. Like, listen, music is nasty. It's been nasty since the 60s and 50s when Elvis was still in black people's. Anyway, not to go in that.
Man,
This
that's
is
deep.
this is very shocking though, because when we live in a digital era of Skynet, that so much is tracked and traced, and I remember there was a time where Joe Budden on the Joe Budden podcast was like, what's the stream worth? And that was a very valid question, because no one could do the math on how much you're supposed to get paid from a single stream. This is just filthy though. And then if Spotify doing this, you gotta question Tidal, you gotta question Apple Music, because they're not gonna be the only one doing this. I don't believe in that. So, because everybody want to push their numbers up. So if Spotify doing this, that means the court system need to look at Apple Music, and because the allegation is just crazy. They're not paying our royalties. They making fake streams. They're letting bots manipulate the algorithm and the transparency, and then they they got AI in music now, so that's even more of a threat to the integrity of the numbers. Woo, it's getting real nasty in the music. But this was kind of shocking. Just some of the stuff like and now the AI stuff, and you just can't. Now you gotta really question everything that you see. Like, they love to post artists, and I'm not saying they don't work hard to get these numbers that is portrayed, quote unquote. If I can't believe what's being reported and what you report and what Spotify's guarantees, then look, it's all fake. It's all fake at the end of the day. And why fake a number that you're not gonna get paid for? You do 1 billion streams, you don't get $1 billion. You don't even get $500 million. So if I was an artist, why would I want to promote fake numbers? Because I'm not getting paid for them. So therefore, you're kind of part of the problem. If you're promoting these fake inflated numbers and you're not getting paid for it, I don't see I just don't see the why. Spotify's in some shit though. Like, the number of lawsuits they have against them, yeah, if you a Spotifyer and you pay for Spotify, you probably gonna get a price increase like the Xbox Game Pass coming very soon if they gotta start paying out these people.
Because it caught me off guard. Because my whole thing is, we live in a digital age, like you were saying, online Skynet era. This type of shit is
Yeah.
you can easily check and see. There are tons of reports. That was one of the reasons why Elon Musk wanted to buy Twitter, was all the bot accounts and supposedly clean and got rid of and all that. So it goes into question like the legitimacy of this. At some point, like you said, one dude, you sound like a hater, bro. It's because more people listen to him than you. Then you get a second, and then you get a third, and it's like, okay, are you all really promoting this type of behavior to drive up revenue for the more prominent rappers, streamers, Spotifyers, whatever, and you're just getting a bigger cut of it, of their slice? You know what I'm saying? It caught me off guard. Even now, I'm still damn near speechless. That's one. And then it opens the door to, if Spotify is doing this, what other platform is doing some type of fuck shit like this?
Apple.
What is Apple Music doing? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
What is YouTube Music doing? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That opens a bigger door for everyone to come about and be questioning all of this. And you can say, oh, we're not sure the legitimacy of it. For all you know, this could be happening around the clock. And he was just the first person who said, hey, I don't give a fuck how big you are or whether this goes through or not. I'm letting it be known. Because Ho-Ho stated, the music game has been fucking over artists since time immemorial. There's the infamous TLC story on how they got fucked over so bad that they were like the hottest artists and they were broke.
Yep.
They had
Tony
no
Braxton's another
penny to
one.
their name. Tony Braxton. It's all across the board. I mean, you have conspiracy theories, to get all sidetracked and everything, that the thing with Michael Jackson, rest in peace, that was orchestrated for them to get their hands on the Beatle catalog that he 100% owned. He 100% owned the Beatle catalog. And
Even his
once
own
once he
catalog
passed
he
away,
owned.
yeah, he owned numerous ones. He owned, I think, 60% of the Elvis catalog. He owned quite a few that he kept to himself. And the moment he was gone, all that stuff was on Apple Music. And they had a surge of so much money that came in from that. Albums, songs, the music game is ruthless. That is why you have such an influx in concerts going on throughout the years, because that's how they make money, the artists. Because album sales, if you even want to call that, I don't know nobody who really buys an album anymore. When you have Apple Music, just pay subscription, you got everything. Or you just buy this particular song you want. Music, it's like, why does anyone even get into it? It's been reports by Fat Joe and many others who say like, yo, there are a handful, I need you all to hear me when I say this, handful of artists that legit have money and are making. Majority of them are broke. Those music videos with the cars, the clothes, the glitz and glamour, it is rented. It is rented houses. It is rented jewels. It is all that. For my millennials, my 30 and older people, I want you to think back on a show called MTV Cribs. There was an infamous episode with Method Man and Redman, and it was just a regular straight apartment. And he was like, man, I ain't doing all that. Spending money, rent some fancy house, making y'all think I'm living a certain type of way. He said, no. It has come out that majority, every episode of that show, majority of them people, none of that stuff was real. The Bow Wow episode, majority of them cars were not real. If you go back and watch, majority of them, actually all the cars had no license plate. That's a vehicle that's rented. They don't plate vehicles that's rented because, of course, for the said reason. When this news hit me, I was like, "Oh shit!" I was gonna call my cousin, but she was out. She was on a business trip. I was like, "Yo, I ain't never heard this." I had to pull up 3 tabs and search it 3 different times to make sure this was not AI. That I was
Yeah.
not about to be taken for a ride to sit up here and report this. And they're like, "Hey, Infamous, you know this got pulled out that this was a hoax 3 hours ago." Oh shit, really? But this is
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, and a lot of people might question why we even had this in today's show, but I want to also bring it like if this is going on in the music business, it's just not tied to the music business. It's every form of entertainment. Now you gotta start questioning like, box office numbers. Now you gotta start questioning movie releases and all that aspects and even game numbers. Now you got to start questioning it. Like, is it being manipulated? And with AI being integrated in your game creation now, you got to get even more nervous. This is just not an isolated music thing. This is across entertainment as a whole. So it's just not the music that is being targeted. And then like I said, it's just not music who is bringing in AI into their everyday business operations. People making games are saying, "Hey, fire all them people, just bring in AI. It can do it faster for cheaper." So you have to look at this and be scared if you're a gamer, if you're just a casual moviegoer, or if you're just a casual music listener. All this is tied to entertainment. And what people love to do is make it seem like they're bigger than what they actually are. All of this
Oh
shit
yeah.
is to portray that they're so important, they're so big, they're this and that. Is an illusion. Like my cousin said, they're doing something in their left hand while trying to distract you in your right, or whatever how he said. But this is very, very dangerous. It's dangerous for entertainment. So if these allegations are true, I hope Spotify gets hit with the book. I hope somebody goes to jail. I hope a whole team of people at the top gets fired, because this is dangerous. You cannot have this in entertainment. You cannot, like, it's a certain level of transparency that you need between the consumer and the person that's selling them the shit. Yeah, this is dangerous, and I hope these lawsuits, if they turn out to be factual, that Spotify gets hit with everything that's coming to them. Because baby, no, you ain't about to play in our faces and then tell the artist, "Oh, you ain't getting $1." What?
Yeah.
Fuck out of
To
here. And
piggyback off what my cousin
yeah.
said, this is in the news because the title of our podcast, Are You Not Entertained? We are reporting on all forms of entertainment. I'll admit, majority of it is gaming centric. We are gamers. And that is the biggest and juiciest news. But don't get it twisted. We talk about all forms of entertainment. And this is crazy because in my research, their last big lawsuit, they paid out, I believe it was 42 million. To them, that might be nothing, but that's a lot of money, especially in today's economy. For you to be fucking over people like that, here you go, shh, get them some money, Charles. Get them some money. That's crazy. That's crazy. And I don't know about you all, but I take my entertainment seriously because fool me once, shame on me. Yeah, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. That's crazy. That even in something as far as streaming music is fraudulent with these bots. And this AI, it's not going anywhere. It's really not. Companies are firing people in the thousands, in droves, believing that, hey, Skynet's gonna make it all better. UPS let 48,000 go. Amazon let 30,000 of a proposed 600,000 to be let go for Skynet to make it all better. Let us know how you all feel or take this news going on, because this ain't the first time any company has been told or lied about paying artists royalties. That's been happening for a while. You all may think we're exaggerating, but do your own research. Do your own research. There are so many artists that get fucked over. That's why you have so many one-hit wonders. That's another old word for us millennials. Damn, we getting old.
All right, but let me say one last thing, because there was a quote that I felt that really, really embodies this Spotify nastiness, and it's actually from The Witcher. So, as comical that is, and the quote is, "Evil is evil, no matter if it's lesser evil greater evil, middling evil, it's all the same. It's evil. Spotify to come out and say, "Oh, we're not even the worst ones doing this. There's other people doing it way worse." You're part of the
That's an
problem.
admission of guilt.
You're part of the fucking problem. So you get your ass in here with this belt. Cause no, you're part of the problem.
Not the bell.
I don't give a fuck about being quote unquote lesser evil. You're evil. That statement blew me. Lesser evil. I don't know who. I don't know if that was an official person from Spotify that said that, but baby, you can get this ass whooping too, and rightfully so. If that's your mindset,
Wrong
that's
is
what I'm
wrong,
saying.
baby.
Some of these companies' mindset are dangerous. They're dangerous. They don't care about you. They want their money. And they're gonna get it one way or another, whether they rightfully are owed it or not. They're taking it from you. They're stealing right in front of your face. But moving on. Our last topic. Ooh, never
Moving on to the Piston Resistance.
Hey, this might be just as big as the fucking Halo coming to PlayStation news. 'Cause this is like two of the biggest tech phone makers, and now one needs the help of another. I just never thought I'd see a day where Apple just folds like a cheap chair at the barbecue. We need help. Please help us, Google. Please,
And of
our shit
all
is not
places, they
good.
went to Google.
Hey, but Google, they actually have been putting a lot of effort, a lot of resources, a lot of money into their development of AI, and Apple just ain't been doing that same thing. Apple just been like, "Oh, we're Apple. We'll get to it when we get to it." And now that AI
Yeah.
is becoming so integrated in so many people's day to day, they're looking like, we're like 15 years behind."
And you know what's funny? The latest article I have read that talked about these companies that are rushing. It is like the gold rush in the Western days. The company that pours the most money into this and gets this right first is the ones who will reap the benefits. And I mean, Google has the money and the means, but I didn't see that. You already got Siri. These companies are pushing dangerously close to this Skynet initiative. But let's get on into it. So, as the title says, Apple's getting help from Google's Gemini to improve Siri. And they're making a massive, and I do mean massive, to get the help from Google to boost Siri's response time,
Capabilities. Yeah.
information that it knows, the capabilities. And this is supposed to be going in the iPhone 18 coming out next year. So the new iPhones just came out not too long ago. So, the clock is a little ticking on that ass. But I'm shocked because Apple was in a predicament like this many, many moons ago. They used to have Intel making
Oh, the
their
Intel
chipset and
chips. Yeah.
yeah, and when Apple went, and we're gonna do this shit our own selves, and went in house, I never thought the day would come. I don't want to say relying on. That sounds just a little too,
Another
on the
third
nose, a little too.
party.
Yeah, but to have another third party come in and assist or get a look from behind the scenes of what they're doing, that shocks me because Apple's whole mindset, the whole agenda is, hey, this is a closed, people don't know what we do here. They don't see because, hey, we do our own thing. We march to the beat of our own, however convoluted it may be. Here it is. I mean, but I don't see how this would help because the iPhone 17 has its own problems and it ain't got shit to do with Siri. So, what's your take on this,
Well,
Treese?
and I'm gonna try to keep it brief, but it's kind of like a mixed bag of multiple things happening at the same time. Number one, and the reason why probably this came about is Apple finally just had to admit that they made a mistake. They started on the development of AI too late. They never put in a lot of resources into Siri. Siri is Apple's version of AI, that
Mm-hmm,
can
mm-hmm.
possibly improve a lot of aspects of your life. And when you look at Google's Gemini, it's just none comparison. If I had to compare, Gemini is like a college senior level, about to graduate educational level, where Siri is in kindergarten. And I'm not even being funny. They're not even comparable. And I think Apple has just finally said, you know what, we're throwing in the how our AI developers cannot keep up with this. And it's probably just because Apple's trying to do too much. You know, the AI development of Siri, the chips that they keep releasing so quickly, back to back to back to back to back, is probably killing them and the manpower. And then they gotta release a new iPhone every year. I know these iPhones are supposedly being developed 3 years before release, but that's still manpower being pushed to these other areas. And they got headsets, and they got a watch. Like they've come to the realization that they're
Don't
kind of
forget about that foldable phone too, and now the flipper.
foldable phone, the MacBooks, the iPad. Like the company is kind of getting spread too thin. Whereas, you know, everybody made fun of them because of the calculator that came to the iPad 15 years later. They don't have that luxury with AI. AI is being it's like you said, the grow rush is rapid development very quickly. And Siri cannot keep up. And Apple cannot continue to say, hey, you know, welcome to the iPhone 17 with new and improved AI when there's nothing improved. Like you ask Siri a question, she struggles. Okay. Or whoever you got your voice tone set to for Siri, like it's struggling. Where I've seen the Gemini AI in action, and it looks really good and it's very beneficial to certain things in your life, keeping you on track, telling you of meetings. Hell, it even tells you how to get to your gate at the airport. I said, damn, that's
Oh,
God.
oh, I didn't know that.
It gives you updates on the packages that's getting mailed to you. Like Gemini is very, very, very intelligent. And I think if you're an Apple user, not to say that you need to go get a Google phone, but if you just go and test it out, you will see how far behind Siri really is. And it's kind of
Hold on.
pitiful. So like it can help you get to the gate. It can tell you what gate you need to pull into from the outside, tell you where the baggage claim, where the reception is, where you how many steps you need to get to your actual gate. That's how intelligent Gemini is. And you just cannot continue on with this wide of a gap. You cannot. And this is not the first time Apple has said, hey, we're not good at this. Let's just contract it out. Their screens. Apple don't make the screens on your iPhone, iPad. That is Samsung.
Samsung.
And
Yep.
a lot of people don't even realize. So this is not abnormal for Apple to contract it out, saying, "Hey, we can't keep up with this and still do the other stuff we need to do with the chips and all the other products. We need to let this go." And so I think this is very admirable for Apple to say, "Hey, we're shit at this. Let's just let Google, you know, give us the parameters of the code for AI." I think it's beneficial. I think Apple users actually benefit from this the greatest. That means you don't have to go to get a Google phone and have the best AI system. The fuck? And then it'll give you more value on the Apple product you're buying because it's actually an AI system that can actually help you in your day to day. You know, this is part of Apple's initiative. They did announce at the WWDC 2024 that they're going all in on AI. You know, they're not trying to hold back. They're trying to be cutting edge. And I think this is the answer. This is the answer and how they can make that announcement of that initiative for AI happen. Because if we leave it to them, Siri won't even be in elementary school 5-7 years from now. Based on the timeline of Siri's development. So I actually am very happy. Some people who still believe in rivalry between Google and Apple might think some of the other, but baby, this is business. This is big boy business here. It's a lot of money at stake right now. And this is just the best move. This is kind of like I said, the PlayStation and Halo situation. Both companies can benefit. Google can get a big check from Apple, while Apple can improve their products even more drastically and quicker at that. So I think it's a win-win for both sides.
Yes. You cut it real nice and short. This is business, and a lot of people don't seem to get that. A lot of people are under the impression that, you know, oh, Samsung and Apple, you know, they hate each other. They go back and forth, and it's like, who told you that? No, they allow you to think that you have a rivalry with this type of stuff. That's not how they feel. This is business, people. You think
Mhm.
PlayStation, I'm sorry, you think Sony and Microsoft hate each other? No, 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 no. That could be further from the truth because some of you all don't probably remember this. There was a few years ago where Sony and Microsoft took that picture together. Some of their push on cloud gaming, they were working to pool their resources together to make cloud gaming better. That was between them. That console rivalry thing, that's a consumer thing. That's small mind thinking. This is about business, and innovation is only gonna get any better by pushing the envelope. This whole, Samsung versus iPhone. You can go look this up. This is not us being biased or corporate bootlicking. Samsung makes the displays for Apple products. Yes, they do. Yeah, they both put out phones and compete against one another as far as consumers. But if I remember correctly, I think Samsung holds a larger market than Apple does, if I remember correctly. But hey, me personally, I look at this in two ways. I look at the positive. As much as I don't like AI, it's here to stay. Skynet's gonna come. All that shits and giggles. I use Chat GPT almost every single day. It has become a staple of how I get things done, answer questions, all that. And competition pushes. So Apple being short and having to go to Google, and Google sticking to what they do best, software and things like this, go ahead. This will make it easier for me to find out and do the things that I need to get done and do. Me being shocked, like I said, I wouldn't expect an Apple to be like this because you can go watch anything about Apple movies or etc. They are about close-offness, closed ecosystem that they control, and etc. If this is going to make the product that I use, go right ahead. I am all for it. A coworker of mine has the Ultra 2, and I saw it. I was like, damn, that looks good. Even though ain't nothing wrong with my Ultra 1. He's like, yo, I just want it. This is something else that goes into it with Xbox. Xbox needs to step their game up because competition pushes. It makes everyone stay on their toes. But I look forward to see how this goes because I have not used Siri like that in a while, and I did not know Gemini was that groundbreaking to where it's helping you get to the airport terminal. Because hey, babe, I'm gonna tell you right now, when I travel, if I ain't with my cousin, I'm stumped. Trying to figure out, hey, where I gotta go? Where am I going? I make sure I am that. Hey, we need to get to the airport 3 hours early to make sure I know to navigate all angles to get to where I need to be. So if it's that good, I look forward to it. But I got one question for you. Or where will be your comparison of Gemini versus Chat GPT?
So they're kind of different because Chat GPT, you're literally asking them questions about different things and it can break it down and be very accurate, whereas Gemini is integrated with your phone and everything that comes across your phone. So like I said with the airport, if you book a flight on on American Airlines app, right? It will take that information and then make it relevant at the time it's relevant. So they're kind of different. But when I say the smartness level, I don't think you can compare because Gemini is in Chat GPT because they just gave an update. It is still not even at its peak. It is still in the learning phase. It is still taking in more and more information every day, and every update that comes to it. But I would say Gemini is, but I will say, I guess Gemini has the benefit of it being the information from your phone and you can ask Gemini questions. So I guess it could be seen as better, whereas ChatGPT isn't integrated in any type of product. You have to go to ChatGPT to ask a question, whereas Gemini, you hold a button, you ask it whatever, and it also takes the information from your emails and saying, hey, your package is 2 hours away from being delivered. So in that aspect, you probably get more benefits from Gemini. But as far as just playing just questions and all that, I'm a avid ChatGPT, so I'm gonna hold ChatGPT down on that side.
I'll definitely give it more look at. I know I said I had a question, but the integration of Gemini. If Gemini was ever integrated on such a scale,
You're fucked.
with it being, could Gemini be improved on such a scale where you could leave Apple and go into Google products as the replacement?
Oh, I thought you was about to say, could Gemini turn into Skynet? I'm like, yeah, you're fucked.
Oh, you don't know
No.
my body.
No. Personally, no. I'm not leaving Apple. I have too many Apple products. I have a MacBook, I have an iPad, I have an iPhone, I have Apple monitors. No, I'm just too integrated in the ecosystem to leave, because if you leave one product and you switch it from Apple to Google, it's going to make you want to switch all of them, which would be too expensive, because
Expensive.
that's when you in the ecosystem, you have the benefit of all the little extra nuances that comes with it. So if I was to switch my phone to Google, I would have to give up my Apple Watch, because they don't. I mean, you could do it, but it's kind of like a annoyance. They make it annoying, and you don't even get all. You wouldn't even get all like the features or the health features from the watch if you had a Google phone. So it kind of built it to the point where you either in or you out. And then if you're in betweener, we gonna make it inconvenience for you. Why you thinking about
Interesting.
switching to Google? Gemini,
Hell no.
Gemini got you jumping ship.
I am way too deep in Apple products. Just got to tell you about my watch. There was a scenario where, due to my job, I can't have my phone on me like that. So my watch is my life. In a rush, leaving out the door to go to work, I didn't realize I was already on the expressway. I left my watch behind. Do you know how naked and stupid I felt? Having to constantly run to a computer to see what time is it, what's going on. And I track my calories, I track my
Yeah,
movement,
my
I track
sleep.
everything with my watch. Not having that was a real problem for me. So no.
That's how you know you in too deep to, to get out now.
Oh
You're
yeah,
lost
and, and,
cause.
and I say it between my iPad, the phone, the watch, everything. And I've told people Apple knows passwords to things I
Oh
don't know what the
yeah.
password to
Yeah, I
it. That
definitely
if
depend
I
on
were
that.
to leave, I would have to make some very uncomfortable phone calls to have certain stuff reset that I don't want to do. That's how deep I'm in.
Yeah.
So no,
Yeah.
no, 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 no.
Yeah, but
You
let
got
us
me,
know
Apple.
let us know how you feel. Are you a Apple for lifer? Are you a Samsung lifer? Are you a Google lifer? And also, just do you think this is going to improve in what is needed for Siri to take the next step of true AI? Well, let me say AI intelligence, okay? Because I mean, Siri is AI, but she's not that intelligent right now. Yeah, but let us know in the comments how you feel. If this is a good thing, bad thing, let us know below.
I just want to say one thing before we ride up out of here, people. Skynet is coming. It's gonna happen.
It's already happening,
And
kinda.
the children of the future, when you look back and you find these relics, these old messages of ours, you heard it here from Infamous. They were warned. They did not listen. But other than that, hey, leave those comments. Are we crazy? Is Skynet not gonna happen?
Nah, it's happening. It's already happening. It's already too late. But yep. But also, I just want to end off with saying, just be careful. It's getting real nasty outside. I always say that, but it's even it's
Getting there.
always relevant. It's getting real nasty outside.
It really is. Actually, you know what? I said that I have a farewell message. In the preparation of this show, as we watch and comb through the news every week, my co-host, my cousin Trice, she has been telling you all for weeks that these corporations know something that we don't know. As I stated before, Amazon just laid off 30,000. They
Dang.
are prepping to let go of a total of 600. UPS just let go of 48,000 people. Everyone across the board is lightening their load, and your average consumer may think, oh, inflation, Infamous. It's real hard. It's economic times here. These are billion-dollar corporations. Okay, they can eat this. They can eat the cost of all this shit if they want to, and they're choosing not to. There is something coming. There is something coming that us average folk do not know about. So
Yeah.
please be ready. Get yourselves together. And remember,
Yeah.
you heard it here first on Are You Not Entertained? And on that note, we out. And that's it for this video of Are You Not Entertained podcast. Thanks for hanging out with us. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell so you'll never miss our next hot take. Until next time, Are You Not Entertained?